What's up? Thanks for joining me today for this kind of just impromptu restring and setup of my new Andreas Kisser Pro Series Soloist. Man, this thing is badass. Let me just start by saying that. But this isn't really going to be a tutorial of sorts. As I go through this setup, I'm just going to kind of BS with you and stuff. Now, I may mention some things that I'm doing here or there, just little pointers that I think are important, stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm just going to kind of blast through this. This is kind of routine for me now. And I have plenty of videos demonstrating everything totally in depth and step by step, which I urge you to check out if you're real interested in learning how to float your Floyd Rose bridges and changing tunings. On this one, I'm going to be going from E standard with 9 through 42s, which it is right now that it came from the factory, and I'm going to do it in drop C with my normal gauges here. These DR high beam 11, 13, 20 wound, 30, 42, and 52. My strings of choice. So that's going to be, it's going to cause a significant change to the bridge, which we're going to have to deal with. But anyways, I'm surprised by the amount of interest that you guys have in this stuff, and I love it, dude. I could sit and do this kind of stuff all day, just work on guitars, talk shop, tell stories as I'm doing it, things like that. I wish I could answer questions in real time. I tried that once to have the chat going or whatever while I'm doing this or whatever, and I just can't work because I'm distracted by the chat answering questions, which is awesome or whatever, but just, I don't know. I gotta think of a better system. I need like a guy sitting there, Floyd Junkie 972 wants to know why you do that. Oh, okay, well, blah, blah, blah. I need something like that. Perhaps I'll set something like that up. But so anyways, we're just gonna go through this. It's gonna be chill. And what's crazy, real quick, I want to mention that a couple weeks ago, I demoed the new Jackson Virtuoso, and I got so caught up on thinking that people just wanted to hear like a performance of it rather than like a setup. So I put all my efforts into releasing this performance video first that was like 3 minutes long. And then afterwards I filmed the setup. Actually I did the setup first, but I released the performance first. I think that was gonna be what people liked. And I gotta be honest, that video kind of bombed. So I just was all sad and depressed. And then I put out the 30-minute setup video or whatever. And that one did super well. And you guys commented on how much you liked it and stuff. So this is kind of what I'm gonna do. ASMR, is that what they call it? Where people just kind of just chill and do stuff slowly and watch other people woodwork or do crafts or whatever like that. So anyways, that's what this is. Let's get into it. So yeah, just gonna get started here. If you got any questions, I'll try to think of them. A little ESP, no pun intended. Yeah. Tip number 1, have your garbage can ready. Nobody likes a dirty jam spot. I told this before in one of my first float videos, but every day, being on the road, you'd come to some corner and, not every day, but some tech would just be restringing and have all this bullshit strings and packs sitting out all over the place, and they just leave them in just a mess or whatever. It's like, man, a clean workspace is a happy workspace. Get your garbage can, clean up your mess, clean up your space, keep your workshop tight. You can do what you want, but that's what I recommend. I used to, me and my buddy used to install systems, like car systems, like big bass systems with amps and stuff like that. And if it wasn't sounding right, we'd just be like, all we gotta do is vacuum and armor all the car. Do that, all of a sudden it sounds great. Clean car, everything sounds better. So that's kind of the point I'm trying to make, Maybe I'm gonna try a different method with this. Maybe I'll get it kind of in E and then, how should I do this? Should I just do it my normal way? Yeah, let's do that. A lot of times I do this, just the guitar cable, although I don't like to use the guitar cable that I count on. I typically get an older one, which I don't have sitting here, but honestly, I have so many of these. Thank you, guitarcable.com. So nothing's gonna happen, but I'm just gonna put that in there. But I like it because it's soft. I'm just gonna hold that there for me when I do this. So, how's your day going? Good, glad to hear it. Yeah, you guys getting good weather over there? Nice, all right. Same here. It's been beautiful. I'm not taking off all the strings. Really don't need it. Kind of just attacking this. I'm gonna see what happens. So yeah, a little more about this guy. Pro Series Andreas Kisser Soloist. Dude, this thing is just hard. What really attracted me right away is the artwork, that sick Quadra artwork. I explained in my unboxing video that like I'm not super familiar with the Quadra album. What I've heard from all modern Sepultura is totally awesome, but I'm mainly a big fan, or I should say just what I love and grew up on was the classic, Cavalera era albums. So I'm not that familiar with their newer stuff, but that artwork is totally sick. And then just the specs of this guitar. I mean, it's kind of like mine, I don't know if you can see that in the shot, but like my RA600s with the 181 in the bridge position, ebony fretboard, the M body style, or I suppose this is the Soloist when it comes to Jacksons, right? They don't call that an M, I guess. Oh yeah, no locking, so I gotta do the old wraparound. See, when I'm talking, I'm not totally paying attention. But that's okay. Sounds about like a C. Oh. Maybe I was at B. There's a C. So because we're lowering this tuning, basically a full step and another full step on the 6th string, our float is gonna drop and we're gonna have to compensate. So a little more about this rig, which I said all in the unboxing video, but if you missed that one, which I recommend you check out. 25.5 inch scale, ebony fretboard, those 6 shark fin inlays, which is what I think of when I think of a Jackson guitar. This is what I'm gonna call my 2nd Jackson guitar. My first one just got a couple weeks ago, the all new Virtuoso, and that thing is virtuistic. Is that a word, virtuistic? I don't even know. But at any rate, they've been beautiful. I'm just excited to check these out. And like you guys, I just love new guitars. Love working on them, talking about them, playing them, taking care of them. Just sitting there and staring at them. I got another super badass new one that maybe that video is already out and you've seen it. I don't know, but just in case it isn't, I'm not gonna mention it right now. But I've already unboxed that one too. Here's a hint, it's blue. This is handy, huh? How about that for a pro tip? Just have another guitar that's in tune for what you're going for right next to you. Easy. So this is a Floyd Rose 1000. I don't really know what the differences are. The Virtuoso had a 1500. Floyd Rose 1500, which again, I don't know much about, and went to the Floyd Rose rep website, and like, it doesn't really, like, in my opinion, like, give much information. It's like, is it inferior to the original? Is the, 1000 inferior to the 1500? Which is better? Which, I don't know any of that, so. It's going to remain a mystery, but it seems like a lot of these guitars, no matter what they are, ESPs, Jacksons, stuff like that, a lot of them are shipping with these Floyd Rose 1000s. And I could be totally wrong about this, so don't quote me on it, but I get the feeling they're like the budget version of a Floyd Rose. Like, if you got some, I don't know, custom ESP or something like that, or E2 or something like that, it usually comes with an original, but then like some of the lower end models have the 1000, so that's why I'm making that assumption. Float's still all right now, as a matter of fact, pretty wild. Nope, I'm not ready for that yet. So I always like to get the eye hole pretty much facing me, the eye hole in the tuner there. When I'm taking the old string off, I leave it facing me, which just makes it easier. When I go to put the new string in, it's already orientated properly for easy access. I also got a bunch of cool string changing tutorials here on the channel from Floyd's and Fixed Bridges. Tons of stuff as part of my string changing series tutorials. Utorials, that'd be cool. YouTube tutorials, utorials. You heard it here first. So, I haven't seen many guys with these yet. If you got one, drop a com. Let us know, dude. Anyways, I already played around with this thing in E, and it's solid. It's like everything I expected it to be. And I've been a huge fan of Andreas and his playing for a long time. I was totally inspired by his solos. They got this like dissonance to them, and there's still bluesiness to them, which I like. And they're just cool creative stuff. A lot of cool tapping, but none of it's like overly like shreddy that you can't handle. It's all real tasteful. So Andreas' style is right up my alley. He was a super huge influence for me. If you're watching this, bro, man, you don't know what you did for so many kids like me growing up. I'm sure you do know. I imagine Brazil's got to be wild when you guys play there. I never been. Kamir never made it to Brazil. But what's cool is when you were out for a while, Andreas, talking to you. Gene Patton was filling in for you. He was playing my signature guitar, the ESP RE600, for a bunch of songs. So it's kind of cool how it comes back around. Now I'm going to be playing one of yours. Cheers to shout out to Gene Patton. He did a fantastic job. I mean, you got to be a monster riffer to play Andreas' stuff, obviously. But Andreas, if you are watching this, man, this guitar is freaking sick. So well done. Congratulations. Long time coming, right? Oops. Accidentally clipped the first string there too. Not being careful, but in this case, it's coming off anyways, right? I always thought it'd be cool to be like a guitar tech at not necessarily a shop. I mean, that'd have been cool when you're younger or whatever, but like at like a factory, doing setups like on all these guitars and custom setups for like signature artists and stuff like that. I think that'd be badass. But you know what they say, the grass is always greener, right? Maybe those guys are sitting there thinking, dude, I wish I was touring the world in the band or something like that, you know? That's why I'm doing this, just to get an end for my band, stuff like that. So anyways, sounds cool. So we're dropping tuning, but we're going with heavier gauge. So it's just gonna be a balancing act with that bridge. And I know so many are gonna comment, oh dude, you gotta use the method where you just block it and then it's so much easier. You block it, get it tuned, take the block out and adjust your springs that way. Hey, this is the way I do it. I think that if it were that easy that everybody's saying like that, everybody be doing it. But if it does work, well, eat my words. Just haven't given it a try yet. I need to be in the room with somebody and see it with my own eyes to believe it. I need to believe it to see it to believe it. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's nothing like a new Floyd. Parts all are just smooth and work nice. All right, so that bridge is coming up significantly. So we're going to need to tighten the springs in the back as I expected. The more stretching you do now, the easier time you'll have floating the bridge because the strings will stretch less throughout the floating process. It'll just be more true. Don't forget to stretch your strings there above the nut at the headstock too, just as a little extra. You ain't getting away with shit. Okay. Getting close to taking off the back plate. Bend these guys down before cutting them off. So when you cut them off, they're already in the down position. Less puncture possibility. Oops. Chrome hardware looks sick. Ooh, it's sharp there. Those tuners sit high. I don't know if you guys can tell how high those strings are off the headstock. Kind of interesting. Yeah, right now the action's super high because this is totally pulled up. So we're gonna give it some turns here. Let's get to it. Get to pull off this ugly plastic wrap on here too. I hate this stuff. Seriously. The most adhesive. Look at that. This adhesive sucks on here, dude, and even left residue. I'm gonna have to take some Goo Gone or nail polish remover on that. That's a bummer, but certainly not Andreas' fault, nor Jackson's. Okay, so we got 3 springs going on. I'm gonna try to stay with that. And let's see if we can get away without putting a 4th spring in there. Just gonna have to tighten them down quite a bit. And let's see what happens. So I'm gonna start with first, I'm gonna loosen these a little bit. And I'm gonna start with 2 full turns, I think. I'll know as I get in there. Here we go. Okay. It's a quarter, half, 3/4, full. That was a full on that side. So what I do is I just watch each one there. Hopefully you can see that. And as I turn to the next one, I know it's a quarter, and a half, 3/4, obviously. So that's what I'm watching there. I see where it goes in. And I just keep one in mind. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think that's gonna be enough. I'm gonna go another half on each. So, okay, let's see where that gets us. Not even close. Gonna need to go quite a bit more. So I'm gonna keep going. I can just tell at this point. So I'm going a full turn. I like to get those a little more even. So that, so far, is 2.5 full turns. And we're not even close. Probably gonna have to put on a 4th spring. We still have some room to work, but yeah. Should I give it a try? Should I go all the way, dude? What the heck? Let's just see. So now, just kind of going to make them even. Still got some ways to go. So for all you guys that are in this situation and you go all the way in and it's still not where you want it, you just add another spring. That adds more tension. Help you get where you want to be. I'm just putting this thing to the test right now, knowing that I probably should add an extra spring. I'm seeing what I can get away with. It's good now because the strings are very sharp, which means it's going to begin dropping. Looking good. We're gonna make it. We're almost there. Might have even gone too far. We'll see. I was really aggressive on that, knowing that what was gonna need to happen to keep 3 springs. Okay, man, we're looking really good. Let's jam this truss around. Neck could maybe use the tiniest bit of tightening, but it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna see how it feels first after we get this going. All right. The float is absolutely perfect. Damn, I'm good. Oh man, we're looking good. Although it's still sharpening a little bit. You gotta be sure, when you think it's good, it's still gonna change. Especially after playing it. Let's give it a little strum and see what happens. It's hard, I don't have a lot of room behind this table here. Give it some whams. Not worried about the tuning right now. Just worried about getting it worked in. Oh, and it's even starting to drop a tiny bit in the back, which means we may went a little bit too far. Take back that damn I'm good thing, but it's super close. Mm-hmm. Still sharp, which means it's going to continue to drop. So we overshot it. I overshot it. You guys aren't responsible. I'm gonna back off the tiniest bit here in a sec. Tuning's starting to get really close, so that's good. It is. So, I mean, to most people, they would say that that's goddamn great, but I could tell I need to go back just the tiniest bit. Quarter turn on each. Okay, tuning is nice. Float could still loosen a tiny bit. Although we're still sharpening. So it's coming up again. It's perfect right now. This is that balancing act that I talk about in all my float videos. It's what I go through all the time. Just back and forth. It's just tuning over and over again, being patient, tuning, waiting a little bit, strumming, pulling up on the whammy, pulling down, being aggressive with the stretching. And through each one of those processes, it gets a little bit closer and a little bit closer until it starts to balance. Good tuning. Super perfect float. perfect, but I'm not totally sold yet. Not enough time has passed. It's staying pretty well. We'll give it another strum here. And a quick little polish. You know what I'm gonna say? The Nomad. It's the shit. Link in description. Ugh. Remember what I'm talking about? Those things pricking you? It's because I'm rushing. Making a video. I didn't take the time to totally dull down that string there at the headstock like I normally would. And look what happens. A major injury. I'm now horribly disfigured. Okay. Let's see where we're at again here. Good, good, good. Blood on my hands. Alrighty, let's hear this puppy. Sorry, I'm gonna get blood all over it. Again, I don't have a lot of room right here, so I'm not gonna shred it up. Still bleeding. Something like that. Totally killer. Plays so killer. Feels just right. And now it's blood stained. So I'm gonna put the, we are good to go here. I'm gonna button everything up. I'd like to remind you once again about the couple float videos I have already here on the channel if you'd like to learn more in depth, where I talk you through every step that I did and why. You can find those in the description below. Also, my guitar instructional DVD I'd love for you to get your hands on. Shipping right now with 10 cool custom guitar picks. Free shipping worldwide, autographed, the whole deal, maybe even some of my blood. And if you like this guitar here, the Andreas Kisser Signature Series Jackson Soloist, I will have a Sweetwater affiliate link for you down in the description that if you click that link and make any purchase on Sweetwater whatsoever, it helps me and the channel here at no further cost or obligation to you. So I'd appreciate that. I'll also have the link for the Virtuoso in there, and where you can check out my Virtuoso videos if you'd like to see that. And either now or eventually, there's gonna be links for the other new Jackson I got too, which I can't wait for you guys to see if you haven't seen already. But I'm stoked on a bit of a King's Ransom haul. Recently acquired. Little pro tip, never use your drill to go all the way in with these screws when you're going against plastic, because it'll go a little too far and crack your plastic, and you don't know how many of these I've cracked in my day. Until I learned, go 90% of the way and then finish it with a screwdriver. And that's the way you do it. All right, final tuning. Lock the nut. Label it with the date, and it is ready for shred. And I don't know about this yet, but I'm about to go write and record the song for the performance portion of this guitar's demo, and maybe I'll show you a little bit of that process as well. A little sharp. This is what all we did there. Looking good. Nuts getting tightened down. Okay. Final step. And then this one is in the books. Actually, my final step will be a little more polishing, but I'm not gonna bore you with that. So I'm gonna do a little piece of white gaff tape here. Just stick that on there like that. Hope you guys can see that. I'm just hoping you can see it. Anyways, today's date, 9/22/23. That's when I know I've changed it. And I'm gonna do drop C 11 through 52. That way I'll always know what tuning and gauge this guitar was set up on what date, so you can always know how old your strings are. Bam.